And there was big news out of Washington today. First, the U.S. House has passed a budget that would fund the government through September.
And in a striking reversal, a key Republican congressman from West Michigan has gone from a no to yes vote when it comes to what may be the replacement for the Affordable Care Act. 24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin joining us now, staying on top of all the developments in D.C.
Been a busy day in Washington, and there's more to come. But first, as you say, let's talk about that budget. The House passed a $1.1 trillion spending bill that will keep government running through September. Now, the budget is notably absent of funding for the wall, for example. It does not end funding for Planned Parenthood or do anything to impact the national debt. Those are all things that President Trump talked about during his campaign. It does buy lawmakers breathing room to negotiate for the next fiscal year, where all of those items and more are expected to create a real challenge for negotiators. President Trump has already referred to a possible government shutdown in the fall. Now to health care, which is where the House will focus next. You mentioned the change of heart by Congressman Fred Upton. Yesterday at this time, we were talking about the potential elimination of the provision in the Affordable Care Act that allows people with pre-existing medical conditions to still obtain health insurance at an affordable cost. And that, said Upton, would cause him to vote no. After he and Missouri Congressman Billy Long talked with the president, they both said they were on board. The replacement bill, an additional $8 billion, will help people pay for insurance in individual states if they opt out of the pre-existing clause as provided for in the new bill. Now, Upton said he reminded the president of what he said during the campaign.
I read him back his statement where he said that this bill would be just as strong on pre-existing illnesses as Obamacare. I want him to keep that pledge.
So Upton's back on board, but the vote count, while impossible to know for sure, is still very, very close. Speaker Paul Ryan says he thinks it's moving in the right direction. The question is now, will the additional expenditure change the minds of some of those more conservative members of the Freedom Caucus who had come on board after changes were made to suit them? If more than a few of them drop off, passage is still iffy, so this is not a done deal. But they did get the budget done, and that at least means we won't have a government, or at least a partial government shutdown now.
Baby steps.
Yeah, and this bill, if it passes, still faces a very uncertain future over in the Senate, the health care bill, to be sure.
Yeah. All right, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.